Right, so we're going to talk about a hydra force sprayer and how to fix it when it doesn't work. Everything on the hydra force comes specifically that way because that's the way it has to be for it to work properly. This is the tip. It's usually, I think, an 8005. If you change it, it won't work. This is the male quick disconnect. If it's an old one that you put on there and you have a new female, it may not work and your hydra force will not work. Inside there's the filter, and this is the body of the hydra force. So basically, here's the hydra force, and I'm going to take it apart and show you what else there is to it once you have everything off. This is the main body to the hydra force. Inside there's an orifice. If this thing is worn out, and it will be worn out if it's an old hydra force, or if you're using the wrong chemical, it will cake up and the hole will be very small and the hydra force will not work. That is inside. The way you get that is you take an easy out, small one, and grab it and just twist it, and it comes out and you can replace it. Okay, so here is the entrance to the hydra force. There's a filter. A lot of times this filter is dirty. People never think about it. They never clean it. When you replace the filter, always replace it with a filter that has the hole in there, the one that does not have the check valve. If you use the filter with the check valve, it will not work. All right, so what we're going to do is put this back together. Okay, the other thing is, hydra force sprayers, they come with this mushroom filter. People think that, oh, I don't need it. They take it off because it gets clogged with the dirt that is not supposed to get into the hydra force body. So once you take this filter off, you got all this stuff getting caught up in here, clogging the hydra force, and it's not going to work. So you never take the filter off. Okay, here is the barb that is used to connect everything for the hydra force. This is the hydra force hose with the filter. On this end, if you take this apart, there's a yellow nozzle. This is what's used to give you variations in the strength of the chemical. This one is an 8-to-1. There are other colors available, so you can actually go 13-to-1 or maybe 1-to-1. But a new hydra force comes with this color nozzle. If it's not there, it's just going to suck a lot of chemical. Inside here, there's an O-ring, a little black O-ring. What happens if you have a truck mount that runs really hot, and you put your hydra force down for 5 minutes and then you start to spray and then you stop, what happens, the steel ball hits that O-ring and it gets stuck on the O-ring. So the next time you use your hydra force, it doesn't spray because the ball is stuck to the O-ring. Inside the hydra force, once you take this off, in the body, there's a spring and a ball, okay? The problem is the ball can get inside the spring and then it won't work properly and you won't even suck chemical, because what happens, that spring compresses like this and the ball is there and you can't get chemical. So what I do, I take the spring and I fix the spring. I take the spring, if you see right here, there's a little bend in the middle. That's to stop the ball from getting lodged in the middle of the spring, which will cause the hydra force to not suck any chemical. All right, here's the hydra force body again. Now, once you hook up your hydra force to your truck mount and you squeeze the trigger, this, if it's working, will start sucking from here. And then when you let go of the trigger, it's going to spray the excess chemical and water out of here. So when you hook up your hydra force and this assembly is off and you're not squeezing the trigger, water should be coming out of here. As soon as you squeeze the trigger, if it starts to suck, then that means the hydra force body tubing is working correctly. It also means if it's working but you're not sucking chemical, is that O-ring that is on inside here, that needs to be replaced. It's an 009. Also check that your ball is not sucked up into your spring, which will stop the hydra force from working properly. Another thing we covered in the beginning of the video is the quick disconnects that come here. They need to be new. because a used quick disconnect might not open enough and let enough flow for your hydro force to work properly. Remember, the hydro force will work at 100 pounds pressure or 1,000. So it's nothing to do with the pressure. It has everything to do with the components inside. The O-ring, the spring, dirty filter in here. Once you've checked everything and looked at the video again, you will figure out how to fix your hydro force. And remember, don't change the size of the nozzle on the hydro force because it won't work properly. Hopefully this video helps you solve hydro force problems.